Welcome to the We Get Outdoors podcast. My name is Rob Yates and welcome to this epic episode. Today we have a special guest and her name is Caitlin. And Caitlin features in today's episode because today's episode is about Corona-19 or coronavirus and how you can best get your ankle biters or kids out in the outdoors, engaged in the outdoors, even though we're all on some form of lockdown. For those of you who don't know me, for the past 30 years of my life, I have been working as a professional in the outdoors. I have done everything from working with little ones this size in the forests and woods, teaching bushcraft and forest schools to them, all the way through to running adventure sports centres where we put tens of thousands of customers through a year, to leading guiding expeditions on every continent apart from Antarctica and training well over 3,000 coaches, guides and leaders across 3 continents. And so here we are today, me and Caitlin in the garden. It's coronavirus, it's lockdown, and I want to talk to you about what we have been up to. Katie, can you go get me some firewood from the braai down there, please?
Okay, what?
So she's off. What is there that you can do to keep your kids engaged in the outdoors during coronavirus? So the first thing is that our adult definition of the outdoors is mountains, rivers, lakes. But for a child, actually their definition of the outdoors is just being outdoors with the blue sky above you. Thank you, Caitlin. Some more firewood, please. Go get some. Thank you. And so the amount of energy and enthusiasm that you put into the limited amount of outdoor space you're going to be able to find for yourself is going to determine how much fun your kid has. If you're like, oh, I guess we'll make do, then they won't have a very good time. That's amazing, big bit. Go get another bit for me, quick. Whereas if you put energy and enthusiasm in, they'll just buy in and engage with anything that you want them to do with you. Just like Caitlin is running backwards and forwards, bringing me wood for our campfire that we're going to have just here. Is there more?
Yes.
Cool. So, here's some ideas of some things that you can do with your child during coronavirus and during whatever form of self-isolation, lockdown or quarantine that you're currently experiencing. Now, of course, this isn't just, thank you, Katie, more please. This isn't just subject to coronavirus. This could be any point in time. You could just do this stuff on a Saturday afternoon if you wanted to. So as Caitlin runs backwards and forwards, here's some ideas of things that you can do with your kids in the outdoors. Now, some of you may well be restricted to your back garden. Some of you will be able to go and get out to a park, maybe. Or some of you may just be in an apartment and not have anywhere at all. Is there more? Go get it. Nowhere at all. In which case you can use a balcony, or frankly, you can just, if you can't leave your apartment because of lockdown, you can just look out of the window and do some of these things. So the very first obvious thing you can do in the garden is you can go camping in your garden. Caitlin's going to come and demonstrate the tent for us in a second. Here she comes with some more firewood for the fire. Pop it on the fire. Good girl. Go and explore the tent for me. You're going to go and explore the tent? Yeah? So you can go camping in the garden and you can pop up your tent in your back garden. Maybe you could lock up your house and sleep overnight in the tent in your back garden because that would be super cool and super fun. You can make a camp, and of course, you don't necessarily have to do a tent. You could do a tarp shelter or a bushcraft shelter, or use anything that you've got in and around your garden to make a shelter, and you can go camping in your garden. Extended from that, we can have our breakfast outside, we can have our lunch outside, a good old-fashioned picnic, or we can light a fire and cook our food on a barbecue, or if you're in South Africa, a braai or a wood fire. Now, there's no way we're going to light this on my grass just here. But something that Caitlin and I have done on a few occasions over the past week is we've made fire in a fire basket. We made big fires, hey, Katie? Tell the people how big.
Bigger.
Big fires. And no matter how old, Caitlin's just about to turn 4 in a few weeks' time, you can go and do fire lighting with kids. And you can just do it in very small, simple stages. Maybe just setting light to a piece of cotton wool using a flint and steel to start with. Other things, of course, you can do is you can go and do go and find it games where the children go and find leaves or flowers or whatever else you can find in the garden. But something that Caitlin loves doing is mini beasts. It's going and finding ants or lizards or worms or slugs or anything like that, and actually getting down low into the grass and going and finding out what animals are there already in your garden. If you look hard enough, there are hundreds of animals. Caitlin, I want you to go and find Larry the lizard for me. Where's Larry the lizard? So we can do that. We can lie on our backs and we can go and see what birds there are in our garden and record them and get a bird book out or Google out to try and learn the names of the birds with our children. Equally, we could do something around the clouds or astrology at night with the stars. There's so much that we could learn. If you've got older children, well, what's stopping you from doing some basic, safe axe work or knife work? What's to stop you from practicing casts with a fishing line and seeing what you can catch in the garden, see if you can catch a bucket 20 yards away or whatever it might be. As I said, axe or knife work, maybe you could make traps if you're into that sort of thing. There is so much at this point in time that with energy and enthusiasm that you can come and do.
Daddy, today Larry Lizard will not come out.
Oh no, today Larry Lizard hasn't come out. So there's so much that you can do with your children, no matter how big or how small they are, with a little bit of creativity in your garden to get outdoors and not treat this coronavirus as something that's getting in your way, but treat it as a great opportunity to bond with your children, to up their skill level, up your skill level, and have a lot of fun at the same time. Get away from Netflix and go and do some cool stuff. So I hope that's been useful for me. If you've got any great ideas, what I'd ask you to do is go and put them in the review or in the comments of how you're getting out with your kids. Bark rubbing, another great thing you can do. There's so much that you can go and do. If you'd like me to do more on YouTube or podcast about getting outside with children, please let me know in the comments or the reviews. I'd equally ask you to go and hit that subscribe button because that gets us more followers and puts bigger smiles on our faces. And please share this episode widely, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you like, so that other people get to go and get their kids outdoors at this time to having stacks of fun. So it's bye-bye from me. Katie, say bye-bye to people.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye from Caitlin, and we look forward to coming to you in the We Get Outdoors podcast very soon.